Early in the year 1831, the prophet Joseph Smith received instruction from the Lord to build a city, the city of Zion. Here the people of God would gather and they would build a glorious temple. At that time, the headquarters of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints were located in Kirtland, Ohio. Although members of the church, or saints as they call themselves, were happy there, they had long hoped and prayed for a more permanent place of peace and gathering. They were eager to build Zion as God had directed, but they did not yet know where it would be located. In June 1831, Joseph Smith was directed through revelation from God to go to Missouri in the company of several other church leaders on what was then the edge of the American frontier. In Missouri, Joseph was told that the location of Zion would be revealed. Nearly 50 days and 900 miles later, much of it traveled on foot, the prophet and his company arrived in Independence in Jackson County. Here Joseph again inquired of the Lord.
When will Zion be built up in her glory? And where will thy temple stand?
The Lord's answer to the prophet was simple and direct.
This land, which is the land of Missouri, is the land which I have appointed for the gathering of the saints. Wherefore this is a land of promise, and the place for the city of Zion. Behold, the place which is now called Independence is the center place, and a spot for the temple is lying westward.
At last, what the saints had desired was revealed. This place, Missouri, was where they would build Zion. To the early saints gathering in Missouri, Zion was to be a beautiful city of peace and plenty. The plan for the city was revealed by the Lord himself. The city was laid out 1 mile square, with broad tree-lined boulevards and 3 central blocks reserved for the construction of a temple, a church storehouse, meeting houses, and other church and civic buildings. Barns, stables, and farmlands would be located outside the city's border. This plan would be followed again for the cities of Nauvoo and Salt Lake City, as well as for many other Mormon settlements in the West. As the saints in Missouri would learn, however, Zion is more than a well-organized city. It is a way of life. Through revelation, God described the people of Zion as being of one heart and one mind, dwelling in righteousness and having no poor among them. Cooperation and sharing are principles of Zion, and so it would be in Missouri. Church members would own their own homes and land, but use their trades and talents for the welfare of all. By working and worshiping together and sharing their resources, there would be neither rich nor poor among them. They would strive to be of one heart and of one mind. Indeed, to be a people of Zion. Shortly after the Lord had appointed the area around Independence as a land of promise for the Latter-day Saints, the saints began to gather. Even though these church members were very poor, they were eager to begin building Zion. Latter-day Saint settlers arrived late in the summer and had but little time to build homes and prepare the ground for planting. As one early settler described it,
"It was a strange sight indeed to see 4 or 5 yoke of oxen turning up the rich soil. Fence and other improvements went on in rapid succession. Cabins were built and prepared for families as fast as time, money, and labor could accomplish the work." Emily Coburn.
settlers arrived faster than houses could be built, however, and winter was a struggle.
The winter was cold, and for some time, about 10 families lived in one log cabin. But it was for the gospel's sake, and all were very cheerful and happy.
Settlers continued to arrive, And by the spring of 1833, more than 1,000 members of the growing church had settled in Jackson County.
Houses sprang up like magic, and everyone was busy. New life and hope inspired every Latter-day Saint, being in possession of freedom and happiness and a large wild country settled. Edward Stevenson.
Built a good white oak log cabin the first season. Next spring, I commenced fencing another field in the prairie and planted in corn, potatoes, and pumpkins. This proved to be a good season for crops. David Osborne.
As saints continued to arrive in Missouri, they were counseled to keep God's commandments in every point and to set good examples so that all would say they act like the children of God.
As new arrivals purchased land, built homes, and cultivated the land, peace and plenty crowned their labors. There has seldom, if ever, been a happier people upon the earth than the Church of the Saints in our world. There was a spirit of peace